That indicates that he's getting harmed by the light gun.
Alright, I'm going to dodge through this portal here.
Sure. This is a closet portal, which takes you to the next level. So this is taking us now to level 2 of 5 in Travis's Terror.
Alright, cool. Got a soccer ball down there.
Sure. The soccer ball is another one of Travis's favorite things that reduces the nightmare bar. So there's different paths you can take in Travis's Terror. The high ground is usually safer. Now this is a fun item. This is the cape. It goes on Travis's back and allows double jump. So Travis can now go to places he never could before. This flying fiend is foul, and he drops eggs, so watch out. In Nightmare mode, Fowl becomes much bigger and smarter as he follows Travis.
I'm going to boot along the top. Jump Rex. Alright, nice. I'm going to grab this candy on the way. Oh, whoa! Alright,
So this is another closet portal. If you look within the closet portal, you can see where it will take you. So this is like the third level of 5. This is about halfway through the game, and you can notice the music changed. But unfortunately, we're out of time here now. So if you want to come down and play Travis's Terror for yourself, we'd love to have you. And I think we have some candy down there if you have a bit of a sweet tooth.
Oh, no.
So come on down and take on the boogeyman for yourself if you dare.
Thank you, that's Travis's Terror. Alright, any questions? Oh, they're in the back.
Yeah, I was wondering about the platforms, like the main platforms, they had arrows pointing up on them. What was the significance of that?
The question was, some platforms have arrows that point up, and what's the significance of that? And those are one-sided platforms, so the player can jump directly up through them and land on top. So, yeah. Question there?
Can you explain how it had Box 2D as a physics plugin? I don't think you actually mentioned anything about that. What was your experience using that?
So the question is, what's our experience with Box 2D? In our game, we felt that player control in the air was really useful, so Box 2D gave us that. Also, moving platforms were really easy to implement, and they made them bouncy, which people seem to really like. So that's main use of Box 2D.
Yes, right there.
You said you guys did some scoping when you lost a team member. Can you give us an example of something that you scoped out, and more importantly, what was the reasoning behind it, and what shaped the decisions?
Okay, cool. So the question was, what are some of the scoping decisions that we made after we lost a team member, and what was the criteria we used for scoping?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Scoped quite a lot. Mostly what we scoped down was our enemies. One example of that was Fowl was originally sort of this bat bird creature, and because his entire point is just to make platforming sections more difficult, and originally there would be like a bat bird that would come down and like stick on Travis and take damage to him over time. But in the end, we realized we could still get the design idea that we wanted, which was to make platform sections more challenging without having to go that far, because that would have caused quite a lot more scripting. That's one example. Yeah, right there.
The core mechanic you guys developed of the transition between nightmare mode and dream mode seems to be splitting the player's view in terms of you got a bar up top, but most of the time the player is looking at the character. Did you guys explore any other methods for communicating that before settling on that design?
So the question is, why did we choose the piece of UI that we did to indicate the game state?
Yeah.
Okay. It was really important. We thought that the player would be able to make quick decisions about what was the game point at any one time. Do I want to confront this enemy? Should I go for this pickup? Or can I wait, grab this moving platform? Just decisions like that. So even though it is present as a piece of UI, and it's not more embedded into the other sort of indicators, which we have as well. Yeah, the ability for the player to make quick decisions and very clearly see the game state was the most important thing. So that's why we decided on a piece of UI like that. in the back there.
Can you tell us a little bit about the main villain and how does Travis beat him?
So the question is, can we explain the main villain more? Travis's main villain is the Boogeyman. He is the whole cause of the stream in Nightmare Mode. The way you defeat him is he's the final boss. You have to stun his hands, then get his head in order to beat him out of your dream.
And the final, it takes place in a closet level, and come on down. We can show that to you if you dare. At the back there.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your core mechanic where you go into Nightmare Mode. It seemed like it was triggered by touching enemies or getting hit, but it seemed like it was fairly easy to avoid enemies. So is there any reason to actually go into Nightmare Mode? Like you want to do that at points?
So the question is it, do we want to go in Nightmare Mode? And also the other part of that question is, it seems that the enemies are quite easy.
Well, like it seemed like it was easy to avoid getting into Nightmare Mode.
Right there in the first two levels, we actually introduce everything for the first time in little chunks, like each enemy, each platform type, etc. So there are sections further on in the game that are more difficult. And in terms of like, is there any reason you want to go to Nightmare Mode? Other than like I mean, it's cool to check it out and go and face that challenge. But in terms of like, is there anything like really super advantageous from like a straight mechanics point of view? No, you want to like be brave and stay in dream mode.
You spoke a little bit about introducing different level elements and the different enemies and stuff. Can you talk about the pacing of how you roll things like that out and how you ramped up difficulty throughout the game and versus your target market? Did you bring anybody of your target market in to play test during that process?
Unfortunately, due to tight timelines, we couldn't get like a lot of young people like in kids to play. It would have been really cool for that. So just keeping our target market in mind, what we did is introduce things one at a time when they first come together, and then gradually start to combine them. In the gameplay demo at the end of level 2, that's the first area where there's actually 2 enemies on the screen at one time, and at later points there's 3, and then we also start to combine moving platforms and platforming challenges along with enemy encounters. So it gradually ramps up as you get through. Any other questions? Oh yeah, we have time for one more.
In terms of the game, once you've defeated it and once you've completed it, what would draw me back to it? What's the replayable elements? What keeps me playing this game once it's done?
We provided a lot of stuff in the level design to provide like alternate paths and different ways to explore in the later levels. And every time you play it, it's never gonna, and every player who plays it, it's not going to be the same experience twice, depending on which decisions you make and what the game state is when you're playing it. So there's definitely some replayability there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.